Just think about it. Those people don't care, and you care. You care so much, and they're living their life. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Robin from A Robin's Eye, and in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 powerful tips to help you heal your heart and move on. Tip number 1 is to feel the pain. Don't run from the pain. Healing happens when we can acknowledge our pain. We can literally feel the pain in our body. When you run from pain, when you try to suppress it by dating other people, looking for other unhealthy ways to cope with that pain is going to get stronger and stronger, and it's going to be harder and harder for you to move on. You have to feel the pain. You have to let yourself feel the disbelief, the sadness, the anger, all of those uncomfortable feelings and emotions that we bury deep down inside of us. It does not go anywhere. The longer you suppress that pain, the stronger it is. It's going to come out in your attitude towards your family. You're going to probably be super angry and aggressive and mad all the time, and you won't know why. And that is a big reason why a lot of people are so angry, because they're holding on to all those emotions instead of releasing those emotions from their body. With me, when I went through my traumatic experience, I released all of my emotions by journaling. I got a notebook, and I'm not the type that go around just venting my problems, telling everybody my problems, so I did it to myself. I got my notebook and I released all of my anger, all of my frustration, all of my guilt, all of my shame, my disappointment, all of the hurt that I had inside of me. Instead of me venting to everybody, I got a journal and I wrote down everything. And it actually became beneficial for me now, because I'm making my videos based off of those emotions and that anger and all of that I got out, that I released. I'm making videos based off that. So it can be beneficial. You might not see it at the moment, but releasing all of those negative emotions is going to be better for your next girlfriend, next boyfriend, for your next dating experience and everything. Tip number 2 is to forgive yourself. Even if you think the breakup was your fault, you have to forgive yourself, because it is the most important part to heal your heart, in my opinion, and it is so freeing. One thing I did on my journey was I started to do affirmations. The affirmations that I would recite would be, I release all of the guilt and shame from my past. Say that over and over and over. If you want to take a notebook and write it down 100 times, whatever is best for you to release that guilt and learn to forgive yourself. If you don't forgive yourself, you're going to be holding on to the past. You're going to be holding on to the resentment. You're going to start to probably feel a little bit insecure. That insecurity also is going to transfer into your next relationship. So you have to heal yourself, because you're going to have a completely different outlook on relationships if you heal yourself. I know a lot of people take that lightly, but your relationships, if you want to have healthy relationships in the future, you have to forgive yourself. Do not hold on to that. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all do things, even if it wasn't your fault. If it was that person's fault and you just stood there longer than you should have, you still need to forgive yourself. You have to let it go. You have to move on. You have to look forward to the future. Focus on what is you going to gain from moving on, from forgiving yourself, from healing. Are you still carrying the weight of your past mistakes? That is a little journal prompt you can do that'll show you and help you figure out what stage you are on your healing journey. Number 3 is to release your attachment to the outcome. I think that is like something that's really major, because a lot of us hold on to the fantasy of what the relationship could have been. We all, at the beginning of our relationship, was like, oh, we're going to have a picket fence, we're going to be together forever, we're going to get married, or we're going to die alone. And when that does not happen, we can hold on to that attachment even when it's not healthy for us. Even if it's not beneficial for us. Holding on to those attachments keep us stuck in the past and unable to move on. It's kind of similar to you holding on to those emotions. Those emotions, just well as the attachment of the thought of what could have been, keeps you holding on to the past. If you are serious about moving on, if you're serious about getting another relationship that may be healthier, in that relationship. You have to let go of the outcome. You cannot be chained to another human being, because we are all individuals. We all come in this earth alone. We're gonna leave the earth alone. So you have to let go of what could have been, the should have been, all of that. Yes, it's cute in theory, but if you see that it's not working, you tried, you have to move on. You have to release those attachments. And most of us are only holding on to a version, to an ideal. That is not what God had in store for you. If that was what God had in store for you, it would not be falling apart. So always put that into perspective. If things is not working out at that moment, there always going to be something better for you in the future. But in order for you to accept that, in order for you to even acknowledge that, you have to let go of the attachments. You have to be grateful for what was and look forward for what can be. God did not put you in certain positions for a reason. If that relationship ended, you have to release the attachment because he had something better in store for you. I know sometimes in the moment it's hard to see that. Trust me, I know I've dealt with it all. It's difficult in the moment, but don't just focus on the past. Try to stay, even in the present moment, stay in the present moment. Think about right now. What do you have right now? You had kids with that person. Be grateful for the kids. It didn't work out. No, it didn't. But be grateful for the kids. Try to not dwell on what could have been. Stay in the present moment, stay in the future, and you're going to be very more equipped to move on, to get something better, find something better that probably God has for you. Step number 4 is to rediscover who you are without them. When we get into relationships, a lot of us, we pick up a lot of the habits and traits of our partner. Sometimes it can turn into codependency. But when we get in new relationships, it's kind of the norm. I see it all the time. A lot of people start to mimic their partner. They start to do what the partner wants to do, like what the partner likes. And in that process, we lose a part of ourselves. Especially if you have been in long-term relationships, it's the easiest way to lose a part of yourself. So we're going to rediscover ourselves. Rediscovering yourself can be delving a little bit more into your personality, finding out who you are outside of that person. And a way you can do that is by thinking back on your childhood. What did you like to do when you was a child? With me, I love to read books. I've always been an avid book reader, and I kind of stopped doing that a little bit in my relationship. I kind of delved into other things. I still was doing some things that I like to do prior to the relationship, but that was one aspect of me that I lost. I wasn't reading books like I used to, and when I became single, when I went on my healing journey, I picked that up. I picked it back up, and it was just like a spark because it was something that I didn't do for so long because I lost that part of me. So find out what you loved to do prior to that person. There's many things you probably need to get a journal and write down to start triggering your memories, but there are things that you did and loved to do outside of that person. So we need to dig deep and find out what we love to do and reintroduce those activities in our day to day. Whatever we did, we have to start to do them again. You have to rediscover your passion, rediscover your needs and your wants. Like, what did you dream? Is there a dream that you wanted to do when you were younger that you can possibly do now? There's so many things you can do to find out who you are right now outside of that person. One technique that I did was I delved into MBTI. I know a lot of people may not be familiar with it, but it's a personality test that you take and it helps you learn a lot about yourself. I found out that I was an INFJ. And when I found that out, yo, that was like it was like amazing because I kind of felt like, oh wait, I'm not as weird as I thought. I'm not the only one on this earth who thinks the way I think. I'm not the only one who does that. So it brought a lot of insight, a lot of things came to me that I wasn't aware of. So that is one way you can learn a bit more about yourself. Go into the MBTI, find out about your personality. It tells you so many things that you probably consciously know that you do certain things, but subconsciously you don't know why you do it. So when you take that MBTI, it's like a light bulb moment. You learn so much about yourself, and I discovered my purpose. That's how I found out like what I wanted to do outside of. I've always loved to help people, but I'm like, okay, so what outside of that? So reading about the MBTI made me find my purpose. It guided me to my purpose in life, and my purpose is to help. I've always wanted to help my whole life. That's all I've been doing was helping, and I also love to teach. So I combined what I love to do, help with teaching, and I'm here, and it created a Robin's Eye, and all of that. Everything that I'm doing now, helping you guys, talking to you guys, educating you guys, is because I found out my MBTI and it led me to my purpose. I would have never figured out that part of me if I was still glued to that person and still not, it's still lost, still losing myself in that person. So you have to let go. You have to figure out what you love, what you want, because our wants and our needs and our hopes and our dreams, they get buried. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's definitely not a healthy way to be. Codependency is not healthy at all. A lot of people fall victim to it. I did. I'm not judging. But once we figure out that we have, let's take a step back. Let's start to analyze ourselves and reevaluate our whole life. We discover everything about ourselves, what makes us great, and feed into that. Tip number 5 is very powerful, and it's turning our pain into power. Turning pain into power means taking the situation for what it is and not letting it turn you into something negative. Taking that power and turn it into wisdom, turn it into knowledge, make it become a better version of yourself because of that pain. Instead of letting that pain consume you, letting that pain turn you into an angry person, a hateful person, a resentful person, you can take that pain and turn it into compassion, and turn it into kindness, turn it into love, turn it into something that is beneficial and helpful. The reason why they have light and dark, in my opinion, is because of that prime example right there. A lot of people, when they go through a lot of traumatic experiences, they turn the opposite side. They turn negative. They don't see the good in that situation, so they become more resentful and they become hateful. And that's a lot of the toxic people running around here who are mad at the world, mad at everybody, because they didn't turn that pain into power. Turning your pain into power is strength. If you let that consume you, if you let that pain turn you into a bad person, that doesn't show strength. In my opinion, that's a sign of weakness, is you letting that overpower you. So take control of that pain and turn it into the strength. Make you the strongest person that you know. You don't have to hate people because of it. You don't have to become a bad person. You can be the happiest person and guide other people that have experienced things that you experienced. Guide them to the light, guide them to love and to kindness and to generosity so they can become a better person. What if the heartbreak was preparing you for something greater? What if that heartbreak and that pain was preparing you to become the best version of yourself, was preparing you to become a pastor or something that'll help the generations behind you, that'll help the people right now? You have to look for the good in the bad. I know that there's bad, there's always going to be bad, and it's out of our control. But what we do with that bad is what determines in who we are. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's easy, because I know for a fact that it's not easy to turn that pain into power, turn that pain into wisdom, knowledge. I know that it is difficult. I know that it takes a lot of strength. But just because it is difficult, don't mean that it's impossible. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. I think a lot of people just focus so much on the other person and how much pain that they put them through, how they dog them out, they could have cheated on them, they could have treated them bad. So many people focus on the other person. That's why they can't turn their pain into power, because they focus on what that person did instead of what you can do now to better yourself. That person made a decision. They left us or we left them, or whatever the situation may be. Now we have to figure out what's our next move. We cannot just dwell on the past and harbor all of that resentment, because the resentment doesn't do anything for the other person. It does not make them, they don't care. They living their life. They're going on dating other people, enjoying their life, and you're sitting around here harboring all of that pain, all of that resentment, making it turn you into a shell of yourself, making you become so angry, and they're happy. Just think about it. Those people don't care, and you care. You care so much, and they're living their life. All of that negative energy, negative emotions, it does not do anything for your health at all. It doesn't make you a happy person. It doesn't make you live longer. Like, it does more bad to your health, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, than the opposite. So don't do it. Just move on. Turn that pain into power. Turn that pain into strength. Turn that pain into you leveling up, becoming the best version of yourself, and possibly teaching other people the same thing.